Jamil will be presenting.
So, my take on peace and nature not gonna be like anyone else. It's gonna be between my personal relationship and indigenous relationship with their indigenous land. Again, how I personally connect to that. And so what I did is I took my favorite poems and I made a kind of storyline reflecting my own life and how I feel living in Canada, in a land I'm not native to, and how I feel about my home country that I cannot go back to. And so here is, and it's really like, looks, in French it's keten. So I'm okay then. It's gonna be very cheesy. So like bear with me, and it's gonna be really awkward for me. How are you doing?
Peace to a land that was created for peace, yet never saw a peaceful day. I was born for a closed house that I called mine, but never entered. I cried, not for the house, but for the memories I could have had inside of it. I tried to enter, but the soldiers stopped me. They gun to my chest, they stripped me of my hope, stripped me of my land. They built up my home, and made me build one for another man. With anger in my heart, I stood facing their tanks. Like the man my mother raised, like the man that I am. I took my best shot, but they shot me first. And I fell to the ground. And I fell. I felt the fall of a Palestinian man. They separated me from my pride and pushed me to my knees. They looked straight at my eyes, the same eyes that begged the Nazis. But I do not beg, for I come from this land. I will stand, I will climb, I will spread my wings, elevate and rise. I will rise, we will rise. So here I am, too foreign for home, too foreign for here, never enough for both. Who is the real stranger? The one who lives in a foreign land and knows he belongs elsewhere, or the one who lives the life of a foreigner in his native land and has no place to belong? And I am both. I've always been out of the fold. No one knew what was going on in my head. I don't go deep into others. I had another case, another land, and a war that matters to no one else but me. I am from a land where it does not snow, where martyrs felt like rain, where kids are in chains. My ancestors tell me the land where the stones know you is worth more than the land where the people know you. Before I left, my grandmother hugged me and wept. She used to say, the uprooted flower is beautiful, but doesn't live long without Palestine soil. And here I am, yet again, dying in exile.
Me in my homeland. So here's my grandparents and their children when they were first exiled to Baghdad. Fun times. Never got the chance. This is me and my cousin. this is me in the largest refugee camp in Bethlehem. It's called the Aida refugee camp. And the key symbolizes the return, so that I'm technically like a refugee. So a refugee is a person who wants to return to his homeland, and that we never forget. This is, I don't know if you ever saw a picture of Jerusalem. It has the Dome of the Rock, and I could never enter Jerusalem. And this is the closest I've ever been to the Dome of the Rock, and I could ever be. This is my village. My two little cousins. So cute. This is like the Nablus. It's the village I come home at. It's the biggest city next to my village. This is me jumping in the water. That's not in Palestine, that's in Jordan. And this is my graduation. This is my friends. And behind us there's a picture of our friend who couldn't make it to the graduation because he got assassinated. And yeah, that's it for me.
Do you want to take questions or?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
Anybody have any questions for Jamil?
Yes.
Yes, in your picture, Cheval, why could you not go into Jerusalem? That you have to stand so far to take a shot out of Jerusalem and the stone dome.
The Dome of the Rock. So
The Dome of the Rock.
why I can't go to Jerusalem is because I was not born in Palestine. I was born here, except I'm considered a Palestinian, so I have something called a green card that I have to carry with me everywhere I go. And so when you have a green card, you cannot leave the West Bank. So basically, I can't go to Jerusalem. My grandmother comes from a city called Haifa, and it's by the sea. And I've never seen the sea. You know, I could never go there because of a piece of paper, basically. And yeah, like from my village that I showed you, it's the closest village to the sea, but it's still considered in the West Bank, so you see the reflections of the sea, but you can never get to it. You know, so that was some summers, you know, stuff like that. And so I did this to portray my feelings of being also like a Canadian. I was born here, I'm technically a Canadian, but I never, like in Western society, I never felt Canadian. I never felt like I was welcomed here. Like when they put like Islamic terrorists, they all look like me. And so I've never accepted the fact that like I'm Canadian, and nor do people accept it. As we said earlier, like if somebody asks me where I'm from, and then I say I'm Canadian, they're not going to be content with that answer. But if I say I'm Palestinian, well, they're going to be like, oh, you know, they have this certain ideas about us that came through the media, dehumanization, calling us terrorists and everything, while Palestinians are one of the most educated societies in the Middle East and contestably in the world. So yeah, that's it.
Just whatever, since we're sharing, I would suggest that you are Canadian and you're also Palestinian Canadian. And if people don't accept you as Canadian, that's their problem,
Yeah.
not yours. You're born here, you have a Canadian passport, you're a Canadian citizen, and Canada is supposed to be officially a mosaic where we bring our history to this new land and together build this new land for our mutual benefit.
Right.
So if you don't feel accepted by others, that's their problem. And I would hope that your intelligence and compassion and love makes Canada a better place. That
Yeah,
you know.
and that's a great point where the problem with, that brings up the problem with like some Muslim youth Middle Eastern youth in Western countries getting radicalized. The cause of radicalization is that these people that fight with ISIS, that come from France or Canada or whatever, they're just like me. Like, it could have been me, except I found other ways of expressing myself through like poetry and art, where them, they look back to their society, like their own, like, for example, I'm Palestinian. If I look back to my community here, there's not a lot of Palestinians. So what they do is they turn to Canada, to the Canadian community, like the society, where they don't feel accepted as well. And so ISIS and terrorist groups or whatnot tells them, hey, we'll give you a family, we'll give you like a home, we'll give you friends, you know, and that's how radicalization works, and most people fail to see it, you know.
Gabby?
I actually wrote a paper for my integrated seminar class about what makes a Canadian a Canadian. And like, although we are supposed to be a mosaic, and said, like, we're not. That's just a lie, because we're all very individualistic, right? So when someone comes from a foreign country or foreign to them and they have prejudice against them, then that person that comes in doesn't feel accepted, right? So Canada in general, we all, like, it starts with, like, you know, our values as like a country. They have to be like reshaped, and they have to include everybody, but that doesn't mean that the people inside are not already Canadian, you know?
Yeah.
It's just,
I think at the end of the day, it's up to each individual to embrace whoever they want to embrace. And my Canada embraces all sorts of diversity. That's my Canada, and that's what I bring to the world. If others choose to be a racist or prejudiced, that's their choice, and my hope is that they change. But as far as my personal responsibility is concerned, is to embrace all people and nature and all of us together for our mutual benefit.
Before Juher,
Sure.
Sorry, Juher. Again, my second presentation at the end of the class, if I get the time to do it, is actually how to help minorities and to feel at home. You know, so it's like two parts. You know, if I get the chance.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add like a more positive perspective on the whole, like how an immigrant can feel at home and not at home in Canada. From my perspective, I was born in Algeria and I was raised there for like 10, 11 years old. And when I came here, I actually felt very welcome. I actually felt like I had opportunities and like I had a life that was here that was like, my life here is so much, I can't even emphasize on how much good it is compared to the life I would have had there. And so yeah, some people actually feel like I've never went back there because I feel like I define myself as a Canadian, and even if like my community sometimes feel like, oh, she's a sellout, I'm like, oh, she never went back, oh, she does that and all that, but like I feel like I've really embraced the Canadian culture, and I'm really proud. And I'm proud of like what Canada brings to people in general.
Thank you very much. So as not to run out of time, thank you very much, Jamil. Victoria, Shania.